So ladies and gentlemen, we're now going to move swiftly on to our second match of the evening, and it is scheduled for 1-4.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Combat Championship Wrestling. I'm, of course, Aaron X, the voice of CCW UK, and we have a spectacular one-on-one matchup, because when you talk about wrestling in the Southwest, you cannot talk about it without mentioning the Dream Breakers. On the left, Virgo Alexander, accompanying to the ring, Glen Alexander.
Ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the ring, accompanied by Virgo Alexander. He weighs in at 196 pounds. This is Glen Alexander.
You'll be hard pushed to find a meaner combination in professional wrestling. The Dream Breakers, who, by the way, have expanded their territory very nicely on the southwest scene of professional wrestling. Virgo Alexander, at the spearhead of all of this, the mastermind of the Dream Breakers, has brought in Glen Alexander to join a raft of very impressive wrestlers that have been used over the past few years, and the likes of individuals like Elijah Blake and Mason Storm. So many different individuals have found their way into the Dream Breakers Alliance, and Glen Alexander is certainly looking to really spearhead the next generation of offense here for said Dream Breakers, and he is a very impressive athlete. Do not be fooled by that miserable attitude. This is an extremely dangerous and very talented individual.
And his opponents.
Well, not to be outdone, CCW has found the perfect opponent for Glen Alexander in their own words. And of course, if you've been paying attention to Combat Championship Wrestling on social media, you'll know who Glen Alexander's opponent is, a product of the Reach Wrestling Academy in the Southwest. Here comes one of the best high flyers that the Southwest has ever produced. Lucky is here and looking to live up to his name, Born to Fly. Out of the tape would suggest that he's been a very evenly matched, but you've got to say that Lucky probably has the aerial advantage, as he does all too often. And if you like your wrestling to be extremely high flying, you're in for a treat here, because Lucky is one of the finest examples of high flying octane offense here in British professional wrestling. Glen Alexander and Virgo Alexander not impressed in the slightest by the energy that this crowd is giving Lucky. Energy is palpable, and the Polyfield Community Centre is itching to get behind Lucky here in this one-on-one matchup. And that is frankly disgusting. Virgo Alexander removing some chewing gum and sticking it on our referee. Well, Glen Alexander seems to have found a couple of individuals in our audience that he dislikes tremendously. You might have noticed the Reach Wrestling training jacket there, of course, so pretty obvious that some of the locals are going to be behind Lucky. Well, momentarily we are going to have a one-on-one wrestling matchup here between Glen Alexander and Lucky. Well, Lucky, no lack of energy in this young man, and I cannot express to you just how impressive his high-flying offense is. Glen Alexander seems to be in extraordinarily bad mood, as most of the Dream Breakers are, and it's worth pointing out, despite their deadly alliance, that the Dream Breakers have had quite a lot of failure recently, and Virgo Alexander feels the pressure of that more than anyone else as he spearheads this illustrious group here in the Southwest. And looking for a clothesline was Glen Alexander. Beautiful head scissors takes Glen Alexander over, courtesy of Lucky with that beautiful standing drop kick. This is what you can expect from Lucky. High-flying offense, as I mentioned. Builds up a head of steam, goes up and over, but lands on his feet beautifully. Great agility, puts the brakes on. And he's now measuring Glen Alexander. Goes right underneath through the legs into a pinning combination. 2 count only. Rolls right back out onto the apron. And a beautiful enziguri catches Glen Alexander coming in. Measures his opponent again. Springboard to the top rope and a lovely crossbody. Catches Glen Alexander flush. 2 count only. A myriad of offense. I don't know how any professional wrestler prepares for the likes of Lucky here in professional wrestling. Combat rolls right through into a monkey flip position and sends Glen Alexander flying across the ring right to the other corner. Great deal of power as he pops the hips. Great low center of gravity here from Lucky. Builds up a head of steam, but Glen Alexander catches him coming in. And you might notice Lucky's left shoulder went crashing into the ring post. And meanwhile, Alexander is going to get his pound of flesh on the outside. And meanwhile, Glen Alexander distracting our referee. And Fergal Alexander is taking extreme liberties here at ringside, choking the life out of Lucky while the referee is currently disposed. Not entirely sure what Glen Alexander was doing, and now just stuffing that boot across the face of Lucky, who gets crashing to the outside. Glen Alexander, make no mistake about it, as I've said before, extremely talented, extremely effective, has no business being as unknown as he is in many people's eyes, and he recognises being underrated. This is an opportunity, however, stiff European uppercut. It's an opportunity for him to be seen by a bigger audience, and they just saw him crash his hand against the ring post as he was looking to chop Lucky, and now he's using Fergal Alexander as a shield, and the Dream Breakers retake control by hook or by crook, and Lucky is sent back into the ring. Glen Alexander, a nasty individual, a stiff right hand, as nasty as mentioned, right into the bread basket. It's Lucky in a slam position. Oh man, just backbreakers him. Those ribs, by the way, crashing across the knee. Bideford don't exactly seem impressed by the antics of Glen Alexander. Oh my God, sends himself up and drops the elbow right across the back. No wasted motion there. Lovely pinning combination. 2 count only. Lucky showing great fortitude to escape that painful attempt. Glen Alexander believes it was a free. It certainly was not the case. Our referee in perfect position. Irish whip off the ropes. And Lucky backflips right over the top of a prone Glen Alexander. Holds onto the ropes. Rolls right through. Does Lucky. Gets caught coming in, however. Oh, the Enziguri. But he misses. Oh, man. Comes back again with that beautiful reverse roundhouse kick to the face. Stunning athleticism from Lucky. He rolls through onto his feet, but Glen Alexander escapes through the ropes. He's got some athleticism of his own. No slouch in the agility department. Shoulder to the midsection. Catches Lucky coming in. Prone on the ropes. Glen Alexander right over the top. Lands on his feet. Lovely start. Beautiful go behind. Comes back off the ropes. And a lovely basement drop kick. Wipes out Lucky. Sends him right to the floor. Glen Alexander not to be outdone by Lucky's incredible sense of pace and high-flying ability, and just stuffs that knee right across the skull of Lucky. Well, that's a succinct message if I ever saw one. And now Lucky catches him coming in with a humongous lowdown. Good God almighty, Glen Alexander crashing to the floor. Looks like Lucky's going to, oh, look at that, just scales the ropes with ease. Rolls off the second rope, rolling thunder. From the second rope to the floor, pinning combination, 2 count. Glen Alexander gets the shoulder up. Now Lucky looking to build up a head of steam, and oh, come on, Fergal Alexander right in front of the referee, holding on to Lucky so he can't build any offense. Glen Alexander takes full advantage, and a vicious one-arm dragon suplex right over the top, and a beautiful sling blade to boot as well. Pinfall could be that, and Lucky still able to escape. Well, Fergal Alexander believes it was free, so does Glen Alexander for that matter, but doesn't matter. The Dream Breakers despite all of their abilities, unable to put Lucky away thus far in this matchup. And just a disrespectful slap to there by Glen Alexander. And come on, just...
This kid against this. Excellent.
Well, Glen Alexander believes himself to be highly strung and well above the need. An atomic drop, though, is certainly going to send him back to the land of negativity. And now a basement drop kick right to the face. Like a shotgun going off from Lucky there. Ducks the clothesline, super kick to the midsection, and now springboards up to the middle. Oh, beautiful cannonball. The ease at which he was able to springboard from the second rope to the top rope and deliver that rolling rock off the top. Stunning offense once again. Both men down. Both men have spent a lot of energy in this matchup, as you'd expect. One of the downsides to the cruiserweight style of professional wrestling. High impact, high risk.
Shut up.
But Lucky asking Glen Alexander to get back to his feet. I think Lucky has him primed and ready. Oh, come on! Glen Alexander deliberately pulled the referee in front of Lucky right there. And Lucky, unfortunately, delivered trouble in paradise to our referee, who is currently down. And meanwhile, Virgo Alexander is in the ring, and a vicious pump kick, the Dream Breakers kick, square to the skull. Glen Alexander takes aim, super kick to the midsection, and now looking for a standing sliced bread delivered to Lucky. Pinning combination, the referee comes alive. How convenient for the Dream Breakers. Pinfall, and that will be that. Glen Alexander steals one. No question, the Dream Breakers are back on the straight and narrow. A win to help stop the bleeding as of late. But let's not forget a huge assist, courtesy of Virgo Alexander's thrust kick to the face while the referee was down. But needless to say, the record books have spoken, and this one will go down as a win for the Dream Breakers, and most importantly, for Glen Alexander.